Steve Rossi, hi. I, Steve Rossi, hi. It's like I met Steve Rossi. Oh, Steve Rossi, hi. Why don't you just say your fucking name? Welcome to this. I am pissed because I just had my second unsuccessful call with 911 in a month. Both times. I mean, I'm not getting into fights. I had to call 911. There was a car speeding on the expressway in the opposite direction. I decided to call 911. They took my name and all my information before they ever asked me where I was. And then I said he was going south on a northbound. And they're like, "Well, that road only goes east and west." I'm like, okay, I'm not tricking you. I don't live around here. And I'm telling you there's a car then going east to west. Just go out there and look. And he put me on hold. And then after 30 seconds, it just cut off. I'm like, I'm not calling him back. He sure as hell didn't call me back. It's the second one. The first one, I'm trying to remember what it was I called for. I can't recall. I mean, how often do you call 911? Never. But I can't. Well, twice. I just did in a month, and I just can't remember what the first one was for. But the first one, oh, there were shots fired near me. The first one, there was no answer. No answer. Nothing. Never went to voicemail. Nothing. Ring 15, 17, 20 times. So I decided to forget it. Maybe other people were calling about the shots fired near me. But two unsuccessful experiences with 911. I always joke in an office, you got to dial 9911. Another way to fuck it up. Hello, 9911. Hi, what's your name? Oh, where do you live? What's your email? Would you like to take a further survey about 911? I'm on fire. Can you help me put the fire out that I'm on? Click. That's not funny what 911 did. It just happened. So I can't just report a happening on stage. It's all semantics. My two ex-girlfriends ago, a long time ago, I didn't want to be in a relationship, and she one day had to tell me, we're in a relationship, and I'm like, can't we just say we're in a situation? I haven't told you I loved you. I mean, it's more of a situation, right? Anything's a relationship, you could say. I mean, if I go to the store, I have a relationship with the cashier. I know her name now from her name tag, and she knows my credit card number. That's a relationship. Hi, this is my friend so and so. That's more of a situation, a happenstance, an occurrence. So she'd tell me that all the time. We're in a relationship, and I would say, nah, it's more of an occurrence. It's just an occurrence. Well, if we're not in a relationship, we're not anymore. But if we're not, I would say in years from now, you wouldn't say, "Shut the fuck up, Steve. I'm really walking the tightrope, and I got nothing." I'm worried the medication has taken away a creative element. Like I was telling my friend Kyle about this story of bombing in New York City, one night particularly, and when I was done, When I was done with the story, I'm like, I don't know how to tell the story in a funny way. And he's like, just tell the story. Tell you about telling the story. So here it is. I can put it together real quick. I still don't know what Kyle meant about tell the story. I did tell him the story, and he said put it in story form. Okay. So basically, here's how corny and awful I was, and this is I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, in a hostel. We used to do a show at a hostel, the All American Hostel, and you know, foreigners would stay in the hostel, and it was actually pretty nice. And then down the basement, we had a comedy show every Monday, and I decide to use my time wisely. And do you know the song "Old Dan Tucker"? Well, get out the way, old Dan Tucker. You're too late to get your supper. Supper's over, dinner's cooking. Old Dan Tucker just stand there looking. I've watched the Andy Griffith Show too much in my life. The point is, I took that song. I took Old Dan Tucker, and I substituted the name Mel Varman in. Old Mel Varman. Supper's over, dinner's cooking. Old Mel Varman just stand there looking. Okay, so I sang this whole song with I must have been out of my gourd. I thought it was hilarious to sing that song with Mel Varman as the name. And so I did it, among other things. I did that. I think I opened with that, and it just silence. Complete silence. It's just a hostel, and I have fun, and I just try to, Oh my God. Steve, you owe yourself 10 lashings for that. It's really hard to spank yourself when you've had 9 shoulder separations. Point of the hostel being, I sang this whole song and not a peep. I'm like, I never go on stage and don't get a peep. If anything, I'll say something stupid and controversial and I'll screw myself and I'll get a reaction, but not a peep. And so I sang the whole damn time. Mel Varman, get out the way, old Mel Varman, you're too late for Carmen. Carmen, supper's over, dinner's cooking, old Mel Varman, just stand there looking. I sang that in front of them and over like 2 or 3 verses, and then nothing. And then I walked off. And then my friend who's running the show tells me, Steve, they're all Japanese. And I didn't know that. It was a dark room. I can't see the audience from the stage. And I should have known because it's the hostel. But usually there's a bunch of kids from London, a bunch of people that speak English staying at the hostel. Obviously, it's not Americans staying at a hostel, but in America. But it's English speaking people for the most part. I've had many great sets at the hostel. That unfortunately was a horrifying embarrassment. But when he told me that the whole crowd was Japanese, I just started laughing even harder. See, I don't know. My friend Kyle said, tell this story. Tell that story on stage. I'm like, I'm a huge storyteller in life. On stage, I don't tell stories, but I should. But I need more stage time to do that so the stories can be ironed out. So it's not this schlock. Are you behind on your credit card bills? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. Is your landlord ready to evict you? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. Does your girlfriend think you're a fucking worthless loser? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. Is your phone broken? Good. Pick up your friend's phone and start dialing today. Steve will solve all your problems. Broken hat? Come to Steve. Rotten keys? Come to Steve. Steve will do anything that you want at your price. They used to call me Steve No Jobs, but now with things to do, they call me Steve. To order Steve, put a deposit on Steve, or collect from Steve, call 555 Steve's Jobs. That's right, 555 Steve Jobs. Call today. Order now and get the Steve Ashtray. Smash your butts into Steve's face with the Steve Ashtray.